Hello. You are welcome. I am Dr. Betty Changa, and I think I've taken a bit long without talking to you, and here I am. So, as always, I say that Fridays are good days, or Friday is a good day to wrap up or to remind ourselves. So what are we going to remind ourselves about today? It's all about the 4 words, which I'm going to tell you. The beating, the challenging or the challenges, the motivation or motivates or motivating, and then unique or uniqueness. And all these are for educators and students. It is very, very important. It is not only for students. It's not only for lecturers. It is not only for teachers, but for any educator. Hey, somebody is gonna say, oh, why is she talking about beating? No, I'm not meaning about this physical beating. But what do I mean? When we talk about beating in education, we talk in terms of defeat. We talk in terms of excel. We talk in terms of surpass. We mean triumph, to overcome, to outshine, to be better, best, vanquish, and outdo. So those words are very, very important if we want, or when we want to educate our students, or when we want to deliver teaching accordingly. So those words which I've mentioned, they cover that first word, the beating. It is not the actual beating. But as I said, there are 4 words here. So after beating, then you cannot excel. You cannot engage. You cannot outshine unless you go through challenges. But those challenges, are they permanent? Those challenges, can't we handle them? Can't we deal with them? Can't we beat them in order to achieve? And those challenges are not only for students. They are not only for educators, as I said before, but they are for all of us, both the students and the educators. So some of those challenges, you know them, but I'm going to mention a few of them, or I can outline them, and each of us can think about it and then build on them. The first challenge always which I think about, consider yourself as a student and you have just joined the school. After 7 years, you have been out of education. What are you going to do? What are you going to face? That is number 1 challenge for a student. A student will sit in the class, doesn't know maybe the learning style, the teaching style. So that is one of the challenges. The Second one is effective communication. Effective communication is a challenge. A student will talk, lecturer will not understand. Lecturer will talk, student will say, oh, I haven't understood that. Oh, I'm not getting this lecturer. Oh, I don't. So that is another challenge. And when we talk about communication, it is in three forms. There's written. Maybe somebody writes and says, I don't understand the writing. There is oral or verbal communication. When you speak to students or students speak to the lecturer or to the educator. And then the one which is always forgotten and very, very important, it is attentive listening. Attentive listening is very important. When a student does not listen, will not understand what the lecturer or the teacher is teaching. And when the teacher also doesn't listen to the student, will not understand the needs of the student. Another challenge is the academic relationship. When a lecturer does not engage with the student, does not create that rapport between a student and a lecturer, it will be very difficult for a student to understand what the lecturer is saying. Unless you build that relationship, then students will be able to understand. So it is very important that lecturers try and then build that good relationship with the students, and the students do the same. Other challenges also, we see that students have got really multitasking. They work, they have got family, they have got school. So that balancing of the equation, as I say, it is a challenge. I have had students, for example, tell me, oh, I'm not concentrating. Why is it? Oh, I worked last night. So, you see, that is a challenge. But here is a student who wants to learn. So, how do we, like lecturers, educators, support these students? We are not going to stop them from working, but how do we advise them? Very, very crucial. Then they have got also lack of funding. Some students start on their school or their studies, they are able to pay, but when they reach in the middle of the term or semester, they are not able to pay for their tuition, and that means dropping out, which is so sad. All those students who are on student finance, sometimes the money is delayed, sometimes the money is not enough. I've had students who complain, for example, oh, I don't have where to leave my child because I haven't got enough money from student finance or loan. So it is a challenge for them. And this, when we focus on retention, engagement, it affects progression. So those are all challenges. We have to look at them as the lecturers, the teachers, the students, and we see how do we work out the solution. Time management is another one. Time management. What do I do? And sometimes it depends on planning. When there is no planning, then the time will not be managed well. But as lecturers, let us advise our students, how do you do this? So I can talk and talk and talk endless. Mental health and well-being is another challenge or another consequence or another obstacle. A student has got this, has got that, has got this, yeah, and that's why many colleges and universities have got different departments, like the well-being department, very important, where they can refer the students for advice, or academic skills department, where they can get extra support. However, when the lecturer can also help out, you take extra mile and then support the students. When I'm talking about the students, they are different students, those who can pick things like that, and those who are slow learners or low learners, those with disabilities, learning disabilities of different types. So they are challenged in different ways on an individual basis. So there are a lot of consequences or challenges, but I will give more next time. So if you have got these challenges, you remember I said I have got 4 words: the beating, the challenges, and the motivation. How do we motivate our students? When we want the students to engage, to achieve the goal, also the educators to achieve their goals. So here talk about the engagement and then the behavior. When we talk about motivation, or to motivate somebody, we focus on that activation, the intensity, the persistence, consistency, stimulating the students, engaging. We give them some experience. Oh yes, I have been like this, you can do it like this, and so on. We have to address the individual's abilities and the needs, and I'm talking about the students. So what do you have to do in order to engage the students? You want to motivate the students, yes, well and good, but you as a lecturer and educator, are you motivated? You have also to ensure that you work on your part to see that you are motivated. However, for today, I will base more on the student side. Let us encourage them. They need that encouragement, prompting them, hey, yeah. You see a student, for example, says, oh my God, I can't take up this. It is too much. No, don't allow the student to stop the studies or drop out. Encourage, engage. I, for one, I always say, yes, you can do it. Oh, try it. Yeah, I believe you can do it. So when a student hears such words and says, oh, so they believe in me, let me try to do it. And you will find that the student is successful. We empower them. Empowerment is very important. And this is where I have also to talk about the formative feedback. The student does not understand this. Okay, try to give the student that confidence. It comes through building the confidence of the student. Come through also when you are giving formative feedback and say, hey, here you have done good, but here I think you need to do a bit. Yeah. So there you are encouraging, you are empowering. And inclusion is also very important. So that is the word number 3. I said of motivation. Remember I said beating. I talked about challenges. Now motivates or motivation. I refer you to Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I will not go over it today. And then next time also, I will talk about the 5 pillars of motivation. Very important. And after looking at this, you want to excel, you are beating that defeat, the challenges, you have worked them out, gone through them, you have motivated yourself and then the students, and what do you expect? That's the last word which I talked about, the uniqueness. The unique. Be unique. Let the students also be unique. Tell them about that. When you do things, when you go through those challenges, when you are motivated, and then you will find that you have built on that passion and drive. You feel that what you were doing before, you have improved it. It is not the same. Hey, you are able to resolve problems. That is problem solving. Hey, if I challenged that, if I beat that, I can extend with my studies and I do this. Or I can be creative, I can be innovative. And then you find that you have got that strong and effective communication where you are able to listen to a student and say, okay, here are the problems, here are the needs. How do I help this student? Oh, have I helped this student? Has the student been successful? There you are rewarded. I, for one, I feel very, very happy when I see that a student who could not do this has managed to do it. Very, very important. And that's where you weigh, you quantify the achievements. What have I done? How have I helped? What have I achieved? Yes, my students have passed with high grades. All of them have passed. Yeah, no resubmissions. Yeah. So that is very important, and you look for the way forward because of this performance. And that's what I called beating, challenges, motivates, and the uniqueness. So I will not add, go and add to what I have talked here. I think there is something there. Let us support ourselves. Let us beat those challenges through motivation, and then we become unique, or we create that uniqueness. Next time I see you, I'll talk about the pillars of motivation and the motivation model. Thank you so much, and have a nice evening and a weekend. And I remain Dr. Betty Changa. Bye-bye.